Me back.
Yes. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Today is Veterans Day, and we appreciate all of our soldiers and all that we've been able to have because of them. So it's a great day to remember. And we do have a Zoom tonight with Guy Debeau. And I believe that's at 6 Eastern. I could be wrong. Doug, you've got the flyers up there. I'm gonna spotlight you so that we have that.
Okay,
I'll spotlight myself too since I'm talking.
there, I got both up.
Oh, okay, you got me. So is it 6 Eastern? No, 6
6 p.m.
Central. 7.
Central.
So 7 Eastern. And so this is going to be a good one for any military people you may have introduced to the business, or anyone you think would love to hear his story. He's pretty amazing. Okay, and then this week we are cranking on the Brain Boost bundle, and you can send a shopping cart to somebody. I just did right before we got on here. And some people who might have been excited about the Luminate, or maybe they've been excited about Omega, or they like the idea of the brain health, or maybe they're not willing to commit yet to Juice Plus. This is a great alternative to reach out to them and say, hey, just want to let you know this. So there's that, and that was extended to tomorrow. Then we got Candace Corson, Tuesday, November 19th. And that's going to be on gut and brain health series. So there's two things that night, that one and also Dr. Sears, I believe. And so you could do a watch party, and that would be, covering the objection, I'm not an expert. This would be good for you to host an expert, which would be awesome. And so I think they're at the same time, 8 Eastern that night, Tuesday, November 19th. So that's something you want to prepare for if you want to do either one of those. And then we also have Julie Herbst, which I don't think is on the next slide. There's Travis. There's also the South Carolina Charleston Regional.
No slide for Julie.
Right, keep going. I think I had
There
it
it is.
the last minute. Okay, here's Julie, Thursday, November 14th at 2 and 8. Now you're going to want to get on early because there's only 100 spaces, which should be enough. But Julie's going to be sharing, it says she learned to manage stress the hard way. She's surviving and thriving. So maybe kind of like a Marilyn Joyce type of event, from surviving to thriving. And so go with it, somebody who's been through some struggles. That would be a really good one. So also, Julie, so you can say, hey, my friend who I've learned so much from is having this event. I would love for you to hear her incredible story, because it will be a dramatic story. Julie's really good at that. And so, maybe hosts people over. That's at 2 Eastern, and was it 8 Eastern, I think? So
Yes.
whatever that time is for you guys. Okay, you can have two different events. So today
2
we
p.m.
already
Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern. Correct. Thanks, Jana.
Okay. And so, and Doug, you wanted to talk about some other things? Oh, the Simple Changes group. Oh, and that. Okay. Yeah.
Well, we have a new schedule, just so everybody knows. I'm working with Katie Suter.
You wanted to
Katie
say Vitzman, I know it.
No, I was thinking Katie Campbell. No, it's not Katie Campbell. Well, Wendy's daughter. She's doing the graphic design, but I didn't like the font up here and a few other things. So anyway, but we're going to have this new rhythm we're going to be doing with events. These are going to be Zoom events, and we decided to make it more of a set schedule. 4 weeks of the month. First week of the month is going to be a topic that aligns to whatever we're doing in our team group, in our health group. So let's say there's a December detox or something. We'll be talking about how that drink works, how we make it, the benefits of it, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And then every time we do something new in the group, we'll just focus in on it during that event. The second week of the month will be a one simple change, where we have 1 or 2 people as guests that tell their story. These will be team members. That's an excellent opportunity for you guys. If I were you, like if Julie was doing these events and she had people telling their stories and I'm inviting to the event, I'd be all over Julie saying, hey, Julie, I want to tell my story. Hey, Julie, let me tell my story this month. Hey, Julie, let me tell my story next month. Because if I'm telling my story, it's better when I invite people. So make sure you're reaching out to us and trying to get on that schedule. But we do want to have compelling stories. We do want to have people that are, have some experience, like presenting and they're not afraid and things like that. It's not one of those, it's not like a reading situation or something. Third week of the month. By the way, these aren't real dates. These are just placeholders she put in there. We'll customize it each month. The third one.
I was going to say November 28th is Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So then the third week of the month, and it's funny, November has 4 actually in it, but for Thursdays. But the third Thursday of the month typically will be we're not going to be doing lunch and learns on Thursdays anymore. We're going to go just on Mondays. And then we're going to switch to an event on Thursday night. To be honest with you, we're kind of getting the same rhythm of people. Listen, we love you guys that are here live. We love that many of you watch the replay in Team Transformers. But to be honest with you, we could get the same content value in probably like 20 to 30 minutes if we just shot a video and put it in Team Transformers, if you just want content. People that are hanging out for the community, we love community. It's great that we're off during the day and whatnot, but to be honest with you, we all would benefit if we can build something up in the evenings on Thursdays. And so once a month, we'll do like a team huddle, which is kind of a mini lunch and learn, some type of a training or something. Maybe sometimes it'll even be an event, or maybe it's like what Sharon and I call a sizzle session, where we're going to talk business, we're going to welcome the new people, we're going to train the startup, but maybe you can even invite a serious prospect that's like on the fence, and they can see the training and make a decision. All right, so then we'll do like a new partner welcome, and not a full-on startup, but just more of a welcome and basics and some advice from the seasoned leaders. The last week of the month will be another inspiring healthy living, like a one simple change type of an event, but we're going to try to get a special speaker or something. Maybe we'll have a special topic, whatever they specialize in. Like if it was Denzel, maybe we're going to focus on like athletics performance or something. If it's on if it's Nalani, Nalani has many things she could choose from. So 1 month she'll choose whatever that focus is going to be. It could be, like how she does it, like even, and I mean this respectfully, Nalani, like aging and how she is so healthy and amazing and vibrant, as she ages. Or maybe it's about, maybe it's about cancer recovery and prevention. Maybe it's, there's so many things, right? So we could do a lot of different things on that 4th week of the month. And then I guess that's about it, Sharon, for that.
Great. Awesome. So when does this come into play, since we're not doing it on Thanksgiving?
Oh, I'm waiting for the posters back from her. So this Thursday we'll focus on Julie's event. So that means next Thursday we do have something which we'll probably do. Let's do the team huddle.
Yeah.
And then Thanksgiving obviously will be off. Then December will be into this schedule.
Great.
And Sharon, knowing you, we could do the team huddle, but if we want people to have something to invite to, we could probably still throw we'll see what the events are out there, but maybe we do need a one simple change or something. And to be honest with you guys, something Sharon and I are doing is we're realizing that, just a moment of transparency. This right now, what we're going through in the company is one of the big changes in the history of the company. Okay. We've gone, the last time something this big happened was when they went from water filters to Juice Plus. They've been putting off this technology update for so long. And now here we are. We were all hoping they just like turn a key and they turn off one thing and turn on one thing and it's all magical. Even I'm surprised at how long it's taking to kind of iron things out. But to be honest with you, that is causing some people to like slow their roll a little bit. I encourage you not to do that. And while Sharon and I haven't really slowed our roll, because you can still put in orders, you can still sign people up. I mean, it's hard to find, certain things on there, but I mean, you can still do business. But we want to make sure that we're leading by example and that we're building our own business, honestly. I mean, this is what we do, and we always invite you guys to come on along. And if you want to build a business, then you should notice the stuff we're doing. So what we're doing is we're having a new series of events on Zoom. We're also going to be doing live events. We're getting into a schedule of live events in our home. And that's probably what we're going to be talking about next, Sharon. And so I encourage you guys, if you're serious about maintaining or growing your business, to get into this same rhythm with us.
Yes.
So this is what we're going to be talking about all the time now. Go ahead.
And I wonder if Stacy is available, because I see you're on here, Stace, and we just had a great time in New Mexico, and she had a great time in Alabama. So she right now could be deemed queen of events. And so, they're with that, there's lessons learned and everything. So Stacy, are you up for chatting about your events for a few minutes?
Sure.
Okay, Doug added you. Okay, great. Well, I was thinking, and maybe Doug, you could hop on here. Let's first do the objections to events. And Stacy can help with that. Why people don't do events and the hurdles and things you have to do. So I want you guys brainstorming and just yelling out really quickly what might hold you back. And Doug, you can spotlight yourself too and do like the typing thing where we list, or I could do it on my
I'll do it.
but listing out the things that might hold you back. Like I'll just name two: coming up with a date and an idea and a flyer. I mean, those are some of the ones
Not knowing neighbors, not knowing.
Okay, hold on, Nalani, we gotta let him.
Except for the same group of people that you
Okay.
already know, and which is I know 3 people and they're in different, not states, but they're in the state, but in different counties, And so, yeah, not knowing people. And then, so getting out to, one solution was to start joining networking groups. which
Okay,
is-
no solutions yet, Nalani.
Oh, okay.
So what are
Yeah.
the hurdles for you personally and me personally and whoever, maybe even team, having events live? So dates-
Inviting to events. How do you really hook them to get them to come? Inviting,
so a fear of people not showing up,
inviting to event.
or so remember, these are objections that maybe we'll say. I'll say, Jana, why aren't you doing events? Well, I don't think anybody's going to come. These are objections. So if I said, Nalani, why aren't you doing a live event? Well, I only know 3 people. So just answer back your knee-jerk response or your reason in your head why it might be difficult to have on a live event. Okay.
I don't have the space.
I don't have the space. Gwen wrote something. My house is a train wreck. I'm too busy. Okay, those are 2 different ones. Right. Having to consult the calendar and procrastinating would be one also.
My husband doesn't like having people over.
Yes.
That one rang a little too true over there. We have the same issue with, some other people on the team. Stacy.
My kids are crazy. They won't leave me alone if I do an event at my house.
Right. Or I have to
I-
clean my house. Yeah, well, house messy, I guess.
You forgot,
live
don't
too
know
far out of
anybody.
town. Yeah, I don't know anybody. I don't know who I would invite.
I live too far out of town.
Yeah, nobody's coming because I'm too far away.
All of the above.
I feel awkward inviting to whatever. Maybe
I-
somebody feels awkward.
I'm not a doctor or health professional.
Right.
How would I teach a class?
Or they don't want to sell somebody.
I mean,
I hate speaking in public.
yeah, I was gonna say something like that, like they're just nervous about having an event, which could mean the other excuses, but I'm too afraid to do the presentation. Like you, Sharon, in the beginning, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't think I was good enough enough, or healthy enough, you know? And I had Julie talking about 5 pounds of sugar and fortification, and I thought it was gonna be so complicated, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not a health expert. Yeah, that's big. Okay, what else? So did you get my flyers? Flyers are one for me. Flyer, I have to make a flyer, I have to come up with an idea. Have to consult my calendar. It's like there's obstacles, there's things you have to, you know, do.
Do you want me, sorry, I almost dropped you guys. Do you want me to address some of those, Sharon?
Yeah, that'd be great. Are we done with obstacles? Are there more?
I think that's a good amount. That's a lot.
Okay, well, how about a specific obstacle for saying having the standard wellness presentation?
Like a one simple change
Right,
presentation?
like a wine and wellness or one simple change, like a mainly juice plus focused event. Do we have an objection about that? Or a sourdough event? People don't like that. I mean, are there any specific, or salad in a jar? Are there any specific objections about any of those types
Well,
of
some of
events?
them require more work, some are more expensive. I mean, there's
Right,
been,
expense.
yeah, expensive.
Can
And
you guys think of
the
anything?
work involved, yeah, yeah.
Or, I mean, obviously you don't mind work, but not worth the work, maybe? I think some people just have like a fantasy, like, oh, why would I do all that work to have it when I can just post on social media and then the magical fairy dust will happen and I get orders, but that doesn't really happen now, does it?
Or just share an audio. Okay. All right. So yeah, we're going to talk to the queen of events right now. I mean, she just had an amazing amount of events. And I think I'll just say, I think we learned though, you know, that you can't get totally caught up in the results because it's one part of what we do. You know, it's one part of how we share Juice Plus, and it all kind of works together. So I'll just give a for instance, you want to keep those objections up, I think. I just saw somebody at pickleball and I had kind of forgotten. I think I showed you Stacy, or I was on with somebody and I said, I'm just going to throw this into the ladies of Eagle Landing. It was a salad in a jar. Was I talking to you? And so I threw it in there, and my only one response was this lady who is a customer. She said, oh, this sounds really good. I'm going to be out of town. Nobody else said anything. So then at pickleball though, which is expanding your warm market, getting out of the house, this neighbor down the street, she goes, what day is your event? I might be able to go. What do I need? 3 jars? And I'm like, I almost didn't even know what she was talking about because I haven't now like really invited people. I just kind of threw it in that chat and I was like, dang, nobody acted like they wanted to go. I checked, I even put the sign up genius link in there. I was like, woo, I'm way ahead of schedule. But anyway, but it all kind of works together. The event, the seeing people, the social media, all that just kind of helps, you know. Okay, so Stacy, you had events in Alabama, you had events in New Mexico, and you covered for me when my plane, I made a mistake on my arrival date and when my plane didn't come in. So she's been working super hard for the last 2 weeks at live events. So what's your, yes, go ahead and talk about the objections or your results or how it all came about.
Okay, so I will say I just spent 30 minutes talking about this subject on our DMO Pro Zoom, so I can give you guys the link to hear more details. But I'm curious from your end, Sharon, did you observe anything in interacting with the people that I was around? Like maybe you picked up on something.
I mean, people loved it. People were, I mean, they were there. They were not leaving. They were having fun. They liked, I mean, that one event with the food, they came in, they sat down, they ate, they were just ready. And then some, I don't know if you told them to bring a pad and paper, but they did. Some were really, really into it and they sat up front with a pad and paper. I was like, wow. And they were very interactive. They were very happy. And then you caught some next steps as they were leaving. And then other next steps have come up with people, what they're gonna do next. So I thought it was great. And then the one at the coffee shop around the table, it was kind of more casual. I mean, I like a real presentation where we know that they know the whole truth. You know, the casual coffee thing, it's like hard to tell what they're thinking or what's A, B, C, or D and what's their next step. But it was good. It was it was like an extra whatever value event. What was the other one? There's another, oh, a team event. I really like the team event, interacting with the team too. So yeah, I thought everybody was into it. Stacy had already set the groundwork. People were already very much into Juice Plus for sure, and into learning. And Stacy got a number of people there. Are you frozen, Stacy? She looks a little frozen.
So the question is how?
Stacy, uh-oh.
Stacy's frozen.
Is she frozen? Probably.
The question is how what?
How did she get a number of people there?
Okay, so
Well, that's
she
what
really-
I'm gonna make sure we get to, Sharon. I don't want to
Okay,
just
okay.
inspire people about how great it would be to have events.
Okay,
I want them to know the process. Like, how do we make it happen?
We can
Okay,
play her,
well-
we can play her DMO video.
right, that's what she was saying. Well, I know when we talked afterwards, she said having buy-in, having your own event puts that, she didn't say that pressure, but that's what it is. It puts the pressure or the onus on you. Stacy, you disappeared on us, so I'm covering for
Sorry.
your one thing I know you wanted to talk about is having your own, like owning the event. Like even if I have an event with Nalani, say, but I don't own it as my event also, I'm not going to get nearly as many people. So to the talk that I did, she had 23 people. And I mean, that's amazing. It was her idea. It was her flyers. She did the food. She arranged everything. So therefore she had more skin in the game. She was actively pursuing it, you know? And so to just come to an event, it's kind of like, I might bring somebody, I might not, you know? So that's the difference, is whether or not you kind of are really involved and committed. So yeah, tell us about your commitment to those events and how you made them work. They want to know, how did you get the people there?
Okay, so I won't go into that because I just recorded it. So I'll give it to you guys because it's too long to be meaty enough to give you in this little spill. But I will say an encouragement to you guys. Every event we did, the rooms were full. Everyone. I mean, Chris had like 24 people there, but she hosted it. She had the most. There were other reps that invited, but she personally had the most people there because it was her event. Kathy had the most people there because it was her event. I had the most people there because it was my event. So there's difference to inviting to somebody else's. I will say as well, it didn't really cover this, but to have 22 people attend an event, that's a lot of relationship building way before the event, right? It's a lot of connection in the community. I use Project Broadcast to invite. So with team and prospects from booths I've done and sourdough events, it was like 307 people, I think, that I invited to get 20 people. So there was a process of that, of writing down people's names that were interested and using Project Broadcast to really be the easy way to push information out. But it's also how I invited, very conversationally, not just an announcement, but a personal invite. And then the ownership side of that. So I'll give you guys the link to this as soon as I get it uploaded, so you can go back and listen to that. It was about 28 minutes this morning. But yeah, that's the big part of that. It's your event. So I knew Sharon was coming for me. I did not want there to be an empty room. Like, it just was never going to be okay with me. I was going to do whatever I had to do to get them there. Hi, Emma. We had a best time together. So yeah, I think that there's a difference with ownership with that than just inviting to somebody else's event.
Okay.
I don't think that. I know that. I know that there's a difference there. And
When-
that list
yeah.
of reasons why, guys, I have had those exact reasons at different times all throughout this 22 years. Every single one of those objections to hosting events, they're real objections. They're not just made up things. They're they're really, you just have to work through them. Just like you would overcome an objection when you're talking to somebody about Juice Plus, you have to help overcome this objection for yourself or for your team. These are knee-jerk reactions that really just mean, I don't have enough value or see enough value in this to give it my time. So if you don't really have goals with your business, it's fine. Don't do events. Just invite to some every once in a while, and you'll get, every once in a while, someone will come to your event. If you're not in it to really build a business and build income, then events could be just not what you're wanting, or it could be a season in your life that you're just not really wanting to build. Then, okay, take those objections and keep them, hold on to them, and don't do it. But if you do want business, if you do want a paycheck, if you do want to build, you cannot do it without doing an event. You just can't. Like, there's events are absolutely key. Events and talking to people, it's what we get paid to do. And sometimes you have nobody that comes to an event. How many times I've done an event and no one came? I get it. And you clean the house, but like when the kids were little, they just thought it was funny. If I was cleaning, they were saying, "Oh, are you doing an event tonight, Mom? Who's coming over?" And I'm like, "No, I actually am just doing dishes." But they would assume somebody's coming over. Like, it just is all of those things. I've had the objection. And if you live too far out to do an event, then you find a place in town to do the event. Like, you overcome the objection and you find the solution and make it work. And hold on to the excuse or the objection, but that's what you're going to keep. And that's what you'll get the same results from that, which is slow growth, frustration, feeling out of the loop, comparison to other people. Like, it wasn't like there was this massive amount of time that I put into getting people to this event. Project Broadcast definitely helps that. But it was the amount of time over this last 7 years that I've built into relationships and connections, and that people would want to be at something that I'm hosting. I've given enough value that they now are like, the things that Stacy does brings value to my life. So I want to be a part of what is this next thing that she's got going on. That's part of it too. It all adds up.
Did you worry about whether they'd already been to this event or that event, or you just sent it out? You didn't think about it. You
No.
said, this is gonna be a big event. I'm just gonna invite everybody on Project Broadcast.
Yeah, because these are all people that have said they want to be invited to health events, especially bringing in an extra speaker. I said, Sharon is the one who got me into this health journey, and I'm excited to share a little bit of my Artesia life with all of you guys. And I just want you to be able to meet her. She's been somebody of great influence to me. And so having somebody else speak for you is super helpful. But the one simple changes, that's how we build our business. It's not these big events are once or twice a year. It's the twice a month smaller events that build our business.
Okay, and so from now, this event, we will be doing follow-up questions and things, like there were people, I was glad to be there, so I'd be like, hey, Stacy, what about this lady that seemed very into it? Let's do a three-way call, or just say, hey, Sharon wanted to follow up with you, because you kind of know where they are from attending that event. It was great. I want to just address some of the objections. I mean, I think that would be good, unless somebody else, do you guys want to comment on anything first? No, okay, but I think Stacy did a great job of giving the big picture of why would you, do these, why would you address these objections and get over these hurdles or obstacles? I think it's really important to be consistent, and if you're not, then you are losing momentum. And the big deal with our business is momentum. And so then it makes it easier. So, having events on the books, which we've gotten out of a momentum now, because we haven't had events at our house for a while. I don't know when the last one was, but if I even think, when I think about, oh, let's put one a month, to me, that seems like not enough. So then I get into, oh, we got to do more, you know, but even just one a month would be good. And that was kind of the key when I was building the business to national marketing director, definitely one a month. And it could be that you have one a month, but then your teammates, you go and you help your team build. One of the things we did realize with some of Stacy's team is that we hadn't done a friends and family call or Zoom. And so they're talking about like their sister's not ordering, and a lot of those people were long distance. But today we're kind of talking about live events. So just finding a date, you know, nowadays you can do it whenever. You know, you're not going to get everybody at your house or at a certain place, but you got to find a date. Everything has to work for you. So if the husband or the spouse doesn't want you to have an event at the house because it disrupts their schedule, you schedule it for you. And when it is good at your house or wherever you're going to have it, you don't worry about, oh, this person's only available on a Thursday. You worry about you and when it works best for you, because you have to be the one to invite. You also want to have the type of event that attracts you or the people that you know. So you might want to name it something that you find attractive, or you want to put on the flyer things that you want to make sure that you're going to cover and that might attract them. And also you want to say sponsored by Juice Plus so that you have full permission to talk about Juice Plus when you do have them at your house and it's not a bait and switch, right? So those are some of the things. No ideas. There are ideas on boards. And also you have ideas, you know, like right now we're going into Thanksgiving.
Hey,
I was thinking customer appreciation would be awesome. Oh yeah, you can get ideas from this. I love this, you know, I love this Facebook group called Partner Hosted Events, Juice Plus Events North America. If you're not in there, definitely get in there because you'll see different events. It does stress me out because I'm like, it does cause the comparison cancer thing where it's like, oh, these people are so good. Like they're so good and they just keep doing events and they're just amazing. I feel like they're just awesome. And so you be your own awesome and don't try to be like these other people, but get ideas from that and be encouraged that people will come to events. You've got to keep going and keep trying. I know Julie mentions that at first she didn't have anybody at her events. And then every once in a while she had one or two, and her husband's like, you know, Julie, there was just like 2 people at that event. She's like, oh, I know. But you can build a business like that. So yeah, here's some flyers. They are on boards. Doug's showing us healthy living party. I don't know what else on there. Salad in a jar, I'm sure. One simple change. You could put anything you want on some of these flyers. Wine and wellness. Let's see. And you mentioned one simple change. Taste of the shred. So I was thinking you could also have a taste of health. Like we did have taste of shred, but taste of health is good. But for Thanksgiving, you could have a Friendsgiving thing. I don't even know what that is, but people have it. And then Jules did this thing called a few of my favorite things, you know, based off of that show. What is it? You guys know it.
Sound of Music.
Sound of Music. So she would call it favorite things. And then everybody would bring like 2 of their favorite things. And there would even be a gift exchange if you wanted to. But people, I mean, you could go wherever you want with that. They could just bring their favorite thing or bring their favorite healthy thing or bring their favorite kitchen gadget. And you talk about your favorite kitchen gadget or your favorite things, which also gives you permission to talk about Juice Plus. And you make sure that you say sponsored by Juice Plus so that they know that you're going to be sharing a few of your favorite things. So she would share about her almond cow, about what else did she share? Oh, how to make seltzer at home. And you know, then she would go into Juice Plus too. Or we had one where everybody brought their gifts. I brought Chocolate Complete and PB2 in a bag. And so that's like a way you can do a gift exchange even. So there's so many things you could do. I think it's just a matter of making that part of your DMO to plan these types of events. Let me see if I can look at some more of the objections.
Sharon, what is PB2?
Oh, that's peanut butter powder.
Oh,
I think it's a name brand actually, now that you've said that. Peanut butter powder. Okay, so no ideas. You can find ideas on boards. No one will come. I mean, that's definitely something that you might be concerned about. So sometimes people put way too much into an event, thinking it's their only event, right? Especially if they're new, they might buy hordes of groceries. They might clean their place to the max, and they might think this is the one event they're gonna have. If you realize that, like, if we opened a pizza shop, we would continue to open the pizza shop every day. So if you know that you're gonna have continuous events, you don't have to just blow it out of the water for that one event. You want to have something that's simple and duplicatable, Julie always said. So Doug's making some flyers. I love that, because this is one of my holdups is just going into Canva and making a flyer. So you want to show us how you're doing it real quick?
Yeah, I mean, what I did was I went into boards and I was just looking at the Campbell team board under events. I went to flyer templates and I found this one, smoothie party.
Mm-hmm.
So I saved this, I right click, I save the image as, saved it into my downloads. Then I opened up Canva. Now I've seen Sharon do this even simpler. She just has like an app on her phone. So I think it's worth learning Canva. But Canva's a little tougher because like right now, this is not showing. So I just have to move this backwards. Now it shows up. I mean, you can get a lot. I like being creative. I'm like Stacy. Stacy loves creating things. And that's just how we work. That's how we think. It's the whole deal. So then you could just do something simple. I mean, this is like, I did this in 2 seconds. Then I could share this. I could download it. Now I save this, and then now Sharon could just text this to like everybody at the pickleball courts and say smoothie party 7 p.m. at Sharon's house. Or she could have probably even better make it after pickleball. Everybody come to Sharon's, it's smoothie time, you know. And this is just, I just showed you guys that because that's how fast you can maybe make a thing. But they
And
also have
it's sponsored by
templates.
Juice Plus, right?
Yeah, so I mean,
no, it's not a bait and switch.
Right. Yeah, I like to add that.
well, and it depends what you're doing
Well,
at the party, you know. I mean, for what I was thinking, we might not even talk about Juice Plus.
Gotcha.
I guess it is a smoothie. Oh, that's right. It would be Juice Plus.
Yeah. And yeah, people have done it as like a smoothie prep party too, where you know, you do it like a salad in a jar where people bring toppings, topping exchange or whatever. I don't know. I've never done that. Jules did do that also. Want to address the spouse doesn't like it, and the well, house is messy and kids are cray cray. Okay, so the house messy, you just kind of clean, you know, where the people are going to be. I know when I clean, I do get caught up in like another whole floor or doing the laundry or doing this, and you're going to exhaust yourself. The most important thing is to get the people there. So if you're cleaning your house too much, then you're not following up to the 11th hour. And then so that's what I would have to say about the house, you know.
Well, I'd like to say 2 things about that too, because I think this is a big thing for some people. Number one is I've been to team members' events. No offense, I don't think they'll see this, but I've been where, I mean, it's like a disaster. Okay, and it's okay. It's okay. I mean, it's their friends they invited over. It's like they're not judging themselves. I mean, more power to them. They probably understand life better than most of us because they're not feeling this social pressure to be perfect. You know what I mean? So you don't have to be perfect. You're just inviting some people over. The other thing is this, you know, Sharon does get carried away with cleaning and she'll end up like, you know, like scrubbing the faucets
Killing
upstairs.
myself. Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, people also don't know what's behind closed doors. So she'll also chuck things into closets and stuff. Then you open the closet and there's pillows falling out on you or something. So don't worry about it. Just make it happen. You know, don't worry about the house. Just get it tidied up a little bit, but doesn't have to be a thing. One thing Sharon and I we always comment on this when we're doing this. Let's say we have an event on Saturday. So Friday afternoon or evening, we're cleaning the house and we're always glad that the events give us a reason to clean up the house. And I now I have to do some projects around the house because we have an event, you know, so it kind of works together.
It does. It's like when you have guests, you clean a lot more and you're happy about it. So there's that. And then the spouse thing, you know, truthfully, Doug was not thrilled about having events, or it just seemed like it wasn't something that worked for our family. So I had events during the day while he was at work. And I even had them with children. I showed the 9 simple steps, Dr. Sears. I had the kids, you know, have smoothies and gummies, or I would have somebody help babysit, somebody who's a team member or somebody I hired, you know, because it's really just for an hour or two.
Well, I would take the kids out sometimes too, and even if I took them out to get chicken wings or something, I mean, I'm just being transparent here. While she's doing a healthy party, I'm out at the chicken wing place with the kids. And you know, if that's what had to happen back then, that's what had to happen back then.
Right, yeah. So, and then the other time I would have it, just to suit the family better, was a Saturday morning. Cause it was like easy for him to take the kids out, and I'd have a wellness brunch. You know, so there's different ways that you can have events. This is just to overview. Everybody's got their own situation. If you don't feel like you can have it in your home, then work on having it somewhere else. You know, I think about the clubhouse a lot, or Starbucks, or a coffee shop. You know, you can have events in all different types of places. Stacy just had one at a hospital. You know, it's like you gotta just ask around, you gotta think about it. I think we pretty much addressed everything, except for, let's go to the presentation board. I can't, or I'm afraid to do the presentation. I think that's really good. We didn't address yours, Gwen. I live too far from people.
So it's, the presentations are not in events, they're in JP resources,
JP resources. I always,
under JP presentations.
okay. So there's the one simple change. It's in PDF form, Keynote, or PowerPoint. So I typically will add like some pictures that I like to talk about. You can also delete some slides if you're not comfortable talking about those slides. And then there's a script to the right. And it's probably even on the PowerPoint. If you download the PowerPoint, the script is probably in the notes as well. And so that's great. So it shows slide by slide. And this is a great way to learn. You know, the teacher learns the most, the person doing the presentation learns the most. The person doing the presentation is empowered, and they are in control of their own business. So you want to look for opportunities to do presentations wherever you can, whether it's at a doctor's office. I like the way Callie Curtis was on here the other day, and she's like, I just say, hey, can I come talk to the moms for like 10 minutes? You know, and you can either bring a presentation on PowerPoint or not. You know, you could bring props, but just finding places where you can do presentations is really good. So anyway, that was kind of what we wanted to talk about today. Just kind of make sure that you recognize your own objections, or your team members recognize their own objections, because we all have them. It's not just about that customer that, or potential customer that might say, I already eat enough fruits and vegetables. That seems like a lot of money, whatever. Everybody's got objections, right? When it comes to listening and embracing Juice Plus. I already take vitamins, or what is this compared to other products? Those are all objections about the product. We also have objections about the business. Oh, that sounds like one of those things, or why isn't it sold in stores, or whatever. They might, I'm not a salesperson. We have our own objections to doing the business. That's not one we talk about a lot. We have our own inner thoughts about, oh, I don't want to have an event because, I don't want to do this because. So we're constantly battling objections. That's why you have to be bigger than the objections, right? You have to be really thinking, oh, that was just an objection I just gave myself. And that's going to hold me back from continuing to have momentum, because consistency builds momentum. And so you want to embrace consistency as much as possible. And having events is one of the ways in which we share. The other is giving out, you know, videos or posting on social media. It won't get you a sale like that or anything, but it's all part of what we do. But events are a big part. And that's where you're going to find more team members, because of the synergy of what happens at an event. So totally feel strong about that. I wish they still had that contest, because I think that threw me off, where now we don't have a contest. of 20 events in however many days, 90 days. So now we're not posting about it or talking about it as much, but it's super important.
Can we go through, maybe ask some people on the Zoom
Yeah.
how they invite? Let's talk about how we get people to events. So we know we're going to plan some events, but we have these Zoom events. Like, let's say Julie's event on Thursday. Let's say that was kind of the first step, right? We said first you find a date and you create the type of event you're excited about. You make a poster. That's all been done for you for Thursday already. It's all ready to go. You know Julie's going to be a good speaker no matter what, So how do we invite? Let's say, how do you invite? Because we have some heavy hitters on here today, people that know how to get butts in seats. So let's get some advice from them.
I invite by sending out my newsletter because people are accustomed to getting the newsletter, and also by texting, first calling, the call, send, call. I call people, I send them and make sure they got what I sent them, and then call again. So that's how I do it. Call, send, call.
Couple things I'm
Or text
noticing.
and text.
Text and test, yes.
Right.
I'm noticing, so Nalani can't text, send text, or call, send call unless she has a good list. And I know for a fact she said about her newsletter. So she's using like Constant Contact or MailChimp. So I think MailChimp, right? No.
Constant Contact.
Constant Contact. So she has a mailing list. And just like so where we're just talking about, you get people to the event, they're at the event, you got to make sure you have something to capture their information if they're there. Maybe they brought a friend that says, would you like to know more about this or that? Stacy was talking about Project Broadcast. That's another service that deals with like texting. If you got a text message from me telling you about the Lunch and Learn, that's from my Project Broadcast. Okay, I put in one message and I say, send it to the people who are subscribed to my reminder list, and it sends out like 500 invites. Okay. So it
Okay,
makes it really
Karen?
easy.
Karen, you ready to add something there
Sorry, I was sending out an invite.
to Julie?
No, I'm hosting a soup swap, but I'm putting it into my neighborhood thing because it's a free event. We'll talk about health and wellness stuff, but it's not a paid one, it's a free one. So, it's not sourdough, it's not something. So, and I know when I see people in the neighborhood, they'll be like, oh, you do those salad things, invite me to the next one. But I honestly don't remember who says that because I'm terrible at then going, let me write it down.
Stacy had a sign up sheet, which we've kind of passed around. I forget what it said, but let's stay connected or something. What does it say, Stacy?
Keep me in touch, keep me in the loop. But what I would do, Karen, are you using Project Broadcast?
Well, so I do, but like I have a sourdough workshop and other events. I forget what the name of it is. And there's 1,100 people in there.
Wow.
It would cost me so much money to text all the time that I just can't.
So
It gets expensive. I mean, I'm doing like 5,000 messages a month. It's like $100.
I have people when they come, I have them fill this out. These are the people that then say, ooh, they're more interested. So while I put a lot of people into Project Broadcast, if they tell me they're not interested in Juice Plus, if they tell me, I reach out one more time after sourdough and I'll say, hey, you mentioned you weren't interested. I just wanted to follow up. And I'll say something like, you also mentioned that your energy level is at a 3. Can I send you whatever? And if they're like, nope, not interested, I trash it. I got too many people. I just have too many people to follow up with. So I do Project Broadcast for the people that are interested, which is probably close to 400 people.
So that's for your sourdoughs. Let's say you're doing a one simple change on, this Friday night. Do you still have that spreadsheet you use?
No, that's not for sourdough. Those are people that already came to sourdough.
Oh, okay.
So this is for future events. Like, do you
So
want
is that your main CRM now? Like your Project Broadcast? You're not on that spreadsheet you used to use in South Florida?
too much?
Okay.
So
I have
Karen,
wait, I have an idea real quick.
Yeah.
So you have different tags on Project Broadcast, right? So you
Mhm.
have different groups.
Mhm.
So if somebody has on their paper, they're interested in sourdough, they're interested in salad jars. Do you have a tag of all of those people that are just
Yes.
so then if somebody says you're out in the community and they're like, I would like to come to a salad in a jar, say, okay, great. Text the word salad to this number and then they go in there, and then you don't have to write it down necessarily, but the next time you do a salad in a jar event, you can invite them.
And that would be amazing if I learned how to do that. I have not learned how to do that yet.
I will teach you.
That's the easy one.
Yeah.
That is an easier one.
There's
So
a lot you can do. Karen, I did the thing with the church this summer where they signed up that they were interested whatsoever in bread. And then it sends them a new thing that gives them options of which date to sign up for. Then they register for a particular date on the calendar. And then now they're in that campaign and it counts them down, say, hey, 5 days till we bake bread, 3 days. Don't forget to bring your big bowl and your mixing thing. Here's my address again. And, it's all just automated. It's really good. If there was more people like asking me how to do this stuff, I'd probably do some
Well, so
workshops.
I just want to know, like, ooh, you're interested in, salad and soup events. Text the word salad to this, and then you're automatically put into this tag, thing.
Yeah.
That would be great, because what I do is I do send it out to those 400 people, because you know me, they have to get a restraining order for me to stop. So
Yeah, and don't forget if they were interested in bread, but you're doing a salad event, you might still want to invite them to salad.
well, I do.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying is 90% of them still don't text back, even though I'll say, hey, even if you're not interested in this event, you might be interested in others. Let me know and I can add you to that texting thing. Because I'd like to wean it down where I'm not texting everybody every time, but I haven't been able to do that. I still text everybody. But this is just a post in our local Facebook group. So I wanted to just quickly divert from that. I know, Sharon, in the beginning, you mentioned you have to pick a date that's good for you, which you do. You have to pick a date that's good for you. But a lot of times, especially when it's like a family and friends Zoom, or if you're doing an event and you're like, but I really want these two people there. Pick a couple of dates for you that are good for you. Pick 3 dates and say, which of these dates are best for you? So giving them an option, and they can't say no, like, hey, is next Thursday good for you? Oh, sorry, I've got, which of these 3 dates is good for you? And then they're more likely to pick one of those. And even if you've got the 2 or 3 people and they pick out of 2 dates, do the event twice. And so
Yeah.
I'll tell you that it can get discouraging. I held an elderberry. I had so many people asking for elderberry. And then when it came down to it, I had one person sign up and I really was like, I'm just going to cancel. I don't feel like doing. And I had her over, and guess what? So she was a complete stranger when she came to sourdough. And I had her over yesterday, really because I enjoyed her at sourdough. She was an older lady, 0 interest in Juice Plus. Okay, so that's one of the reasons I thought about canceling. I was like, she's not interested in Juice Plus anyway. And I was like, Karen, and I think back to Julie, setting up the whole room and having one person over. So it takes me literally 15 minutes to teach elderberry. And we talked for 45 minutes about everything else, like her daughter's divorce and health, and her husband has type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular. And so by the end of it, as I'm walking her out to the car, I said, hey, I know that when you came to sourdough, you weren't interested in Juice Plus, but after our conversation, I really would love to send you some information about the cardiovascular research, for your husband and this and that. And she was totally open. Yes. And then she opened to me, because that first time I'm a complete stranger, but now the second time when we talked, now it is building the relationship. So I don't know whether to order or not, but at least I got a yes, send me the information,
Yeah.
And there was
Well,
one person there. And sometimes I feel like, because it's just me, it's hard when I have more people. I have learned that. So when I was doing 12, 15 people at sourdough, I have a tough time talking and touching that many people. It's easier when it's like 6 or less. Then I can like watch people's facial expressions and all that. So I think a lot of people get wrapped up into, we want this many people there. Unless you've got unless you've got Sharon, unless you've got Stacy Turner, unless you've got Nalani or a couple of partners there to help, and talk to people, it actually becomes more difficult, I think.
Yeah, we like to keep it like eight or so less than 8 or less at our house right now too. It's a little smaller space, but all right, excellent stuff, guys. I hope this gives you a little bit of a vision and excitement about events. We'll keep trying to help you guys. We'll be doing more events, so you'll be seeing more stuff from us. The key is sometimes you just gotta jump in and do it, guys. You gotta jump in and do it. And I'll tell you what, right now is a great time to do it. There's gonna be a lot more confidence in like spending money. Okay. I mean, it's already starting to happen. I mean, we're killing it. Nalani, I know you're doing all right with your cryptocurrency. We made like $5,000 already this in 1 week off of Bitcoin. So it's beautiful. I think the economy is going to be looking a little bit up and people will be lessening the purse strings a little bit. So let's get events on the books. Let's help people get healthier and let's not live in fear. And let's just go for it. If you need help or if there's things we didn't cover that are preventing you from doing events, if you need more information, more training, encouragement, if you need us to walk through it step by step with you, just reach out and we will do that. We'd be glad to. Okay.
Thanks, guys.
That's it for now. Let's invite for Julie's event on Thursday. And we'll see you guys later.
Bye, guys.